If I can have your attention, please. My note was get the meeting started now. Just to let you all know that this meeting is being live streamed, so that those who can't make it here tonight are actually able to watch the proceedings and the questions. And that's why we have a microphone here, so that basically when questions start, everyone can have an opportunity to ask a question. If you can use the microphone, so that although those who are watching it online can also hear it, so we can all hear the questions. I'll say a little bit about the housekeeping issues in a minute. First thing is just a couple of introductions. I'm Mick Antoniw, I'm the Assembly Member for Pontypridd. Alex Davies-Jones with me, who's the Member of Parliament for the Pontypridd constituency. I think we've both got a few comments that we want to make, but the real purpose to tonight is to give you the opportunity to hear from the senior persons in the Health Board, to ask any questions that you want. We'd ask that, of course, everyone be polite and dignified in the questions, because it's important that not only that questions are clear, but also that there are answers, and everyone will have an opportunity. We've got this room until 9 o'clock, so we have to be out of here by 9 o'clock. Can I just say then, by way of just introduction of some of the issues, there's a lot of us, those who are elected representatives, have been working incredibly hard. Here we are again, I think, since 2013, 2014, when the issue of the Royal Glamorgan Hospital first came out with the South Wales programme. And I'll have to say, it was a shock to suddenly hear that there were concerns about the viability of accident and emergency. A group of us have been working very, very hard in terms of meetings, both with the Health Board, both with the Health Minister, meeting amongst ourselves, and meeting with many, many people over this particular issue. I'm very adamant in terms of the view that I have, conclusions that I'm coming to. Now, the purpose of tonight isn't necessarily to hear those at this stage, but I do want to tell you about one or two things. The purpose tonight is obviously to give you an opportunity to talk to Marcus Longley, who's the chair of the Health Board, Dr. Sharon Hopkin, who's the Interim Chief Executive Officer, and Dr. Nick Lyons, who's the Executive Medical Officer. So these are the most senior people on the local health board who I think can answer any of the questions do you want to raise. But I have to say, there have been comments as to, whether politicians should keep their nose out of this matter, that it's purely clinical. And I have to tell you this, my view is this: I came into this particular job to represent the people that elected me, and as far as I'm concerned, not only because it's right, because that is what our democratic process is, to speak up for the community. And just to let you know that on Wednesday in the Assembly, I and a cross-party group, because we're doing this on a cross-party basis of Assembly members across the South Wales valleys. I know some of you have seen the statements that we've put out, arguing, I think, strongly for the position that we think is the one we want the Health Board to take when it eventually concludes its work in March. But this is just the resolution that's going to be going to the Assembly, that I am optimistic and hopeful that this will get carried, is to propose that the National Assembly for Wales rejects proposals by the Cwmtaf Morgannwg Health Board to end 24-hour consultant-led accident and emergency service at the Royal Glamorgan Hospital, and calls on the Health Board to A, rule out the closure of accident and emergency at the Royal Glamorgan Hospital, or replacing the existing A&E service with a 24-hour minor injuries unit. B, to reinstate the option of maintaining a full consultant-led A&E service at the Royal Glamorgan, Prince Charles and Princess of Wales hospitals, and to bring forward other proposals for community health services, including improvements in the out-of-hours GP service and extending the opening hours of the minor injuries unit at Ysbyty Cwm Rhondda and Ysbyty Cwm Cynnon, which may alleviate the pressure on all three A&E departments. That's the basis of the joint cross-party statement, and that's what I'm hoping is going to be voted on. I'd like to Alex to say a few words, and then I'll do some further introductions.
Diolch, Mick. Thank you all for coming here tonight. Talk about a baptism of fire for me, yeah? But it's brilliant to see so many people here. It's brilliant to see so many people engaging with us on social media and emailing us as well. And just to echo what Mick has said, we both make absolutely no apology for standing with our community against any closure of A&E at the Royal Glamorgan Hospital. As Mick has said, just to echo, we have both been working behind the scenes, having meetings with the Health Board. We had one today. We've been meeting with Welsh Government, working with our Health Minister to see what options are on the table so that nothing is taken off the table in terms of retaining A&E at the Royal Glamorgan Hospital. Some of you will have seen me quiz Boris Johnson today on how we can recruit consultants from overseas, because although health is devolved to the Welsh Government, I think somebody needs to tell the Prime Minister that immigration and visas are not. And that is what we need if we need to attract talent to come and work in our hospitals across the UK. But I'd just like to thank you all again from the bottom of my heart. I think the strength of feeling here is palatable, and that can be seen by those on the panel. And I would urge you all to make sure that your voices are heard tonight, and that we make sure that we get the biggest representation possible. So thank you. I'd like to hand over to Mick now, who's going to chair tonight's proceedings and just introduce our colleagues here.
Okay, firstly, I do want to thank the three speakers tonight for coming and giving up their time, and I think it's a recognition of how importantly they recognise that this issue is. So tonight is the opportunity to express your views politely and in a dignified way, to ask the questions that you want and to get the answers that you're entitled to. So I'm going to ask first of all if Professor Marcus Longley will say a few words, and then I'm going to open to questions. What I would like, though, is this. Anyone who asks a question, I'll take them in groups of 3. So if you want to ask questions, could you please come up to the microphone here? If someone is disabled and unable to, we can use the roving mic. But the main reason being so that everyone in the audience gets a chance to hear the question properly and hear the answer, and also that those who are watching it online have that same opportunity as well. So if that's okay, I'll just over to Marcus Longley.
Right, thank you. Come round the front. It's a bit cramped here.